How's it going?
We're doing good.
Thanks for coming. What's wrong, Rocky?
Baby cat's here.
You don't look like your usual self.
Well,
Don't you feel well?
I've been studying like fathers. You know, Father's Day's coming. I studied Walt Whitman's father, and his father was kind of mean to him and abusive, and his father drank a lot. It kind of reminded me of my dad, who was a little mean to me sometimes, and he drank a lot. It was just kind of brought me down, and usually when I feel down like that, all I do is go to school, and the kids will say, "Hi, Mr. Rocky, where's Bongo?" And they'll lift me right up out of the doldrums. But I haven't worked all year. I miss the kids. It's just not the same.
I'm sorry, I'm almost done.
Yes, you.
Oh, that sounds good, Rocky. Maybe we could all become your students.
Really?
And you could have some fun with us.
You would all do that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Oh, I just happen to have my substitute bag right here.
Yeah, you're not getting paid.
Wow! Let me see here. And here's the schedule.
Hold on to it.
Let's see. Well, first, my name. Can anybody figure out my name? Boys and girls?
Rocky Wilson.
Very good. Very good.
Rocky Wilson.
Now, Matt.
Sorry.
Now, Matt. First period, math. Yes. Okay. When you sing, you begin with
ABC.
When you sing?
Oh, do, re, do, re, mi.
Boys and girls. Oh, we're in the lower grades. Let's start again. When you sing, you begin with
Do, re, mi.
When you count, you begin with
1, 2, 3.
Well, that was good, but I'm sorry. That's really. That's not how they count in. That's not how they count in Ghana. You see, there's 54 of these strands. So while I'm doing this, I want you to count them and try and guess how many there are. You already told them. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Hands on head. Che Kool-Aid.
Che Kool-Aid.
Che Kovisa.
Che Kovisa.
Kovisa Lala.
Kovisa Lala.
I like Kulala.
I like Kulala.
Cheese. Cheese. Are you peeking, Box?
What?
Are you peeking?
Yes.
Ole.
Ole.
1,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8,
9,
10.
Che Kool-Aid.
Che Kool-Aid.
Che Kovisa.
Che Kovisa.
Kovisa Lala.
Kovisa Lala.
I like Kulala.
I like Kulala.
I love Kulala. What is Kulala? Cheese. No peeking. Are you peeking, Tammy?
Yes.
What? Ole! Ole! Good job, boys and girls. Well, that takes care of math. Well, I might be able to use this. Well, let's see what's next. Primary colors. Who knows the primary colors?
Red, blue, and green.
Red and blue is right.
Red, blue, and yellow.
Red, blue, and yellow. Well, what do you say we start with blue?
Okay.
Okay?
Ready?
Oh, can you like get an alarm clock, like ring, make a ringing sound? Wake up! Ring, 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 ring. It's gotta be loud. Ring! Okay. I woke up this morning. I was feeling mighty.
Blue.
I couldn't find my sock. I couldn't even find my
Shoe.
I'm thinking about my whole life and all the things I didn't
Do.
I had to wish I had a oughta, shoulda. That day, how was going to make those
Blues.
go away? I went to the bathroom. I squeezed the toothpaste. Out came a little sign that said, Rocky, your life's a waste. I went down to the kitchen to make myself something to eat. All I could find was a piece of green meat. I had to wish I had an oughta, shoulda.
Blues.
That day, how's it going to make those
Blues.
go away? I went to the liquor cabinet. I poured myself a drink. It tasted so bad, I poured it down the sink. I went to the living room. I switched on the TV. There were 770 channels, but not one would speak to me. Oh, I had to wish I had an oughta, shoulda.
Blues.
That day, I was going to make those.
Blues.
Go away.
I went into, well, I was in the living room, right? I switched on the radio. They said the Eagles last night lost their 8th in a row. I picked up a map, the keys to the car. There was plenty of gas. I was going to go far. I opened my front door, and what did I see? My car was up on cinder blocks. Oh, me. I went inside. I started to cry. If one more thing happened, I knew I would die. Yeah, I had to wish I had an oughta, shoulda. That day. I sounded like Porky Pig. How is it going to make those blues go away? Kids, you can't tell your parents about this part. Okay?
Okay.
This is from the old days too. So. Then I remember I had a little stash. I was saving it for the next big bash. I crept up, this is the old days. I crept up in the attic. I lifted the floorboard. And what did I see? A little gray mouse looking back at me. There was an empty plastic bag, twigs and seeds by his side. He was laughing so hard he was feeling me time. I said, Mouse, Mouse, just what did you do? The mouse said, I woke up this morning. I was feeling mighty blue. But I woke up an hour earlier than you. Well, that mouse and I, we made friends that day. And you know, my blues just seemed to go away. Now, I don't drink or smoke or watch as much TV. That mouse and I just sit around writing poetry. Poetry. Yeah. Yeah. So, what's next? Poetry. The ABCs.
Oh, no, already?
When you sing, you begin with
Do, re, mi.
When you read, you begin with
ABC.
Yes! All right. Well, I think we could combine our ABCs with poetry. And I think you guys could help. Because you all should have a line of poetry right in your little ball.
Some got them late, though.
Okay.
Turn back.
Who has an A?
Tell me.
Somebody have an A?
Who has the A? Speak up.
Okay. If you have a letter, could you stand up? Or do you want to stay seated? Whatever you want. Okay, you got the gist? We're going to go A, B, C. You know what I mean? So A is first, B is second. Here we go. Can you say lights?
Lights.
Camera.
Camera.
Action.
Action.
Hit it, A.
Abcadabra gentlemen of Custudices, said Big Bird, proud to recite the alphabet so quickly.
Next, B.
Be sure to vote on Tuesday because it's important.
Catherine Camden is so happy to be here and be a part of this experience.
Dear G.
Dennis was a fabulous and smart man.
Key?
Everybody went to school.
F?
Fun times are ahead.
G?
Gratefully, I dusted the flour from my nose.
Have a penny, take a penny, extract a penny, pluck a penny.
Who's I?
Any I?
Ice cream is the best.
J?
J. Gave them all away, except for this.
K, any Ks?
Okay?
K.
K.
Tommy?
think it's a K.
Are you J? Oh. Somebody absconded with the J. You make up one.
Crap. Fraser is my true companion. Bad girl. C'est la vie. Mother.
Who's K?
Leave out the last word.
K. I'm
L.
gonna do that. Who's K?
L.
You guys are kind of slow. I don't know. Let's go over the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, we're not gonna remember.
Where are we?
L.
L.
L to J. J, K, L. Did K talk?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Leave me not, beloved. I think we were writing a poem. Leave me
Anybody
not,
want to read the
beloved.
line in any order they want to? Okay.
M.
M. I'm not in charge.
M.
Passed them all out.
Okay, we better just sit down.
Oh, Rocky,
And not now, Nancy.
Make one up with that. Something about
If
ours.
somebody have something they're dying to read, read it. Oh my God. All right. I know. I got the wrong script.
Come up front.
Here we go. Can you say lights?
Lights.
Lights. Camera.
Camera.
Action.
Action.
ABC poem. Abby Hoffman says, steal this poem. Bernard Baruch says, no, pay big bucks for it. Cat Stevens says, turn it into a song. We're supposed to be playing on it. Donald Duck quacks it. Elizabeth Taylor Cleopatra-sizes it. Freud lobotomizes it. God plagiarizes it. Herman Hesse meditates on it. Iggy Pop Yo rhapsodizes it, yo. Jackie Kennedy pillboxes it. King Kong holds it in the palm of his paw. Lucille Ball snacks on it. Word by word. As fast as she can. Oh my God. Marilyn Monroe drops it on the grate and lets it blow up her skirt. Whee! Napoleon says it's too short. The skirt or the poem? Oscar the Rock eats it. Not bad. Prince suggests adding some purple rain. Ronald Reagan said, oh, well, no, Quasimodo vows to rescue the poem if critics panic. Ronald Reagan said, if you read one poem, you read them all. Superman stumbles and asks if kryptonite was involved in the making of the poem. Tom Thumb says it could very easily be made into a haiku. Amazing. Uniforms, uniforms. General MacArthur orders. You need to dress it up. Valentino strips the poem bare and takes it in his arms. Walter Winchell devotes a column to the poem, Still Stuck Up Maryland Skirt. X-rays are finally prescribed for the poem to discover its bare bones. Y-M-O-U-S-E. Yes, kids, it's Poetry Day on the Mickey Mouse Club. Yes. Zaza Gabor says, "This is great. I never knew poetry could be this much fun." Thank you. You have really been a pretty good class. So I'm going to give you a chance. I know you're dying to go a little wild. So here's something. And here's some pieces of paper. See what you do. You remember doing this. You ball them up.
Never.
And you throw them up. See, it happened to me in a building that had no windows. So the kids switched off the light, and they'd start throwing stuff off me. I couldn't even see who did it. Young man, could you give out a few of these to people close enough to the stage? You know how to ball them up, right? Right. Okay. So here we go. And you know how to make noise.
We do.
Yes.
Can you make some noise? Yes, yes, a little more. Yes, yes. Oh my God, I gotta call the principal. I need an aid. I can't teach this class. I'm going crazy. They're throwing stuff at me. I gotta do something. Wait. I got my own. Did anybody throw anything yet? No. Oh, Mr. Rocky, what's going on with this class? I don't know, Henry. I'm Henry David Lamb. Nice to meet you all. But I wish you would treat Mr. Rocky a little better because he's old, you know. We don't want him to have a heart failure. Well, thanks to a little boy, a 5-year-old boy, he made this puppet for me. I thought his mom did.
Oh,
He was so small, but when I called, she said, no, David did it himself, and she helped him just a little. So for David, I named him Henry David Lamb. And we did a lot of stuff together. I started, like, after that worked in school, the kids got quiet when they saw Henry. So I started walking home, talking to policemen, or whoever was on the street. Hello, how you doing? And they'd go, fine, little lamb. Then I'd pay bills with them. That made paying bills fun. Then I took them in the Haddonfield 5K and they put our picture in the paper. All species run the Haddonfield 5K. So we started training for the Boston Marathon. And unfortunately, I kept Henry tucked in my pants carefully, but while I was jogging somewhere, he must have slipped out, and I lost him. And I went up to see David, and of course he said, "Where's Henry?" I said, "David, I lost him." And David said, "Well, I have 2 more puppets, but I'm only giving you one at a time because you're losing." So that began a long line of puppets all the way up to 1994, when on my birthday, from Anita, I got I think you're going to have to do that. I got none other than B-O-N-G-O, B-O-N-G-O, Bongo is his name. Oh! Well, Bongo and I had a lot of adventures. And I would lose Bongo, but he would always come back. He was like a boomerang.
You mean a banana rang?
Yes, he was like a banana rang. Once I got him, well, twice I got him back from the police. Once I lost him, and 3 days later I saw him on Facebook. So we had some adventures. One of our best was at jury duty. Very quiet in jury duty. The one in Camden, anyway. Huge room filled with people, all expecting to be called to be on a jury, and the judge up front. So the judge says, everybody, I have a 2-week case. If you can do it, fine. If not, you're going to tell me the reason why I should file past. So everybody started filing past the judge. So I came up. A lot of people get paid by their companies, but I would only get $5 a day, and that's what I told the judge. I can't really afford to do this, Judge. I only make $5 a day on jury duty. And he looks at me, and then Bongo says, and I also work with him, and $5 a day won't even buy bananas. And it got quiet. Very quiet. And the judge looks at me, and he says, you're excused. And then he looks at the monkey, and he says, and little monkey, you're excused too. And the whole room went bananas. Oh my God. So about, I guess every, 2 years they called me back. And this time I got sent to a courtroom off the main room, and we couldn't take anything. I had to leave Bongo in a locker. So the lawyers are asking questions. So they come to me, and they say, well, what do you do? Boys and girls, you know the drill. Che Kool-Aid. Che Kool-Aid. Che Kool-Aid. And then I say, I teach music in Camden. And I just see the pen go scratch through and then scratch through the, both lawyers scratched me. Oh man, well, let's see. What's next? I need 2 volunteers. Any volunteers out there? Please come up here.
I already blew the ABC thing.
Just watch the camera as you're coming down the and we have another one. Oh, next is Art. Well, Bongo. Whoa. Art. Yes. Art. Art is. And could you stand? Yes. Art history. Just hold this for a second. Art history. Well, Bongo, his favorite art was abstract art, but he didn't call it abstract art. He called it abstract art. Well, his favorite abstract artist was, can anybody guess? Oh my goodness! Did you sneak and look over my shoulder? Jackson Pollock. The guy famous for painting on the floor with drips. They call him Jack the Dripper. And he loved jazz. Yeah. And when he painted, it was like a dance. With the jazz going, his paint going all over the floor. It was wonderful. And now, you'll see how wonderful it is. There you go. So, can you keep holding it? Yeah, I can hold it. So, My mother saw daffodils. Rita, I remember our conversation. Old wood begins to sprout leaves. Trees grow where desks stand, the history of the people carved into them. Meanwhile, Jackson Pollock's mom continues to mess up her apron. Okay, good job. Continues to mess up her apron with all kinds of colorful food, hoping the grandchildren will catch the hint Jackson did. And paint. It was so many beets and tomatoes and mustard squeezes ago. It's hard to remember all the debts we owe. My mother saw daffodils. I was cleaning her windows for her and dropped the yellow paper towels onto the grass. But she didn't see a messed up yard. She saw daffodils. She saw daffodils. Well, we did blue and yellow. I guess we'll save red for later. Can you give our you may
Now we dismissed, we may return to our seats. You want this folded up?
I'll roll it up, yes.
Yes.
Look a whole lot different.
Well, my mom was yellow, daffodils. My father was roses, careful. Was red roses. Well, what was ours? What was ours? The old blue eyes ain't what they used to be. Camden Town, where I was born a couple of ways, with apologies to Jericho Brown. Here comes National Poetry Day. I don't know when I fell in love with lilacs. We never had lilacs. Dad loved roses. Sometimes now blood blooms in the streets near me, and new faces bloom on telephone poles and t-shirts. I grew up missing only cats and dogs. People lasted longer then. Pets taught last breaths. No one ever thought of counting up the deaths. My father sold dyes while I tied and dyed. Over my blooming shirt, would anyone ever cry? When the knife missed my vitals, the world became a song. And now I had a scar that proved I did belong. I grew up rose rich, but now I'm strong and poor. No chance I'd be making the 6 o'clock news. That's when Walt Whitman showed up at my door, a fist full of lilacs and eyes full of the blues. A fist full of lilacs and eyes full of the blues. He told me, Walt told me he came to Camden by accident. but he was never sorry. Because Camden had brought him many blessings. And you know, I felt the same way Whitman did. Camden had brought me many blessings too. Excuse me. Whoa! Camden Town. Let me just take a swig. Nothing stronger like that. Camden Town. When I came here, all my parents did was frown. What was I doing in this godforsaken town? I think it has something to do with the beat that brought me from the country to the city street. The beat is everywhere, I ain't lying. But some patients and places seems like it's really trying. Well, the beat is here and it's really fine. It's bigger than the trash and stronger than the wine. It's in the little old woman sitting on her stoop. I said, "Have you got a car?" She went like this. 2 Cadillacs, they're good on gas, and they'll take me pretty far. Yeah, the beat is everywhere, I ain't lying. But someplace it seems like it's really trying. It's in the homeless man. It's in the homeless man who put down his bottle. Who put down his bottle of Thunderbird wine and put his own life on the line. Put his own life on the line. Things would never be the same since he pulled a little girl out of the flames. He burned his shoes right off his feet. Now he has to shuffle down the street. People wish he'd walk on the other side. They don't know for someone else. He almost died. Yeah, the beat is here and it's really fine. It's bigger than the trash. It's stronger than the wine. It's in the children's laughter of double dutch. It's in the squealing of tires, the grinding in the clutch. It's in the spoken words poets' wild hair. It's in the boombox music dancing through the air. Yeah, there's litter in the streets and writing on the walls and fighting and hustling in the pool hall. But that's all on the surface, like the cover of a book. Most folks just pay their toll and never bother to look. But as for me, I'm glad I stayed around. Where I once was lost, but now I'm found. Where the beggars always hide their crowns. And the pigeons make the sweetest sounds. Yeah, Camden's not the showplace of the old US of A, but it's sure got soul, and that's why I stay. That's why I stay, where I once was lost, but now I'm found. Where the beggars always hide their crowns, and the pigeons make the sweetest sounds.
In the west end of Derby lived a working man. He says, "I can't fly, but me pigeons can. And when I set them free, it's just like part of me gets lifted up on shiny wings." Charlie Edson's pigeon loft was down the yard, in a rented house in Brook Street, where life was hard. But Charlie had a dream, and in 1913, he bred a pigeon that made his dreams come true. There was gonna be a champions race from Italy, They took out their maps, all that land and sea. Charlie, we told you so. Charlie, you'll lose that bird. But Charlie never heard. He put it in a basket and sent it off to Rome. On the day of the big race, a storm blew in. 1,000 birds were swept away and never seen again. Charlie, we told you so. Surely by now you know. When you're living in the West End, there ain't many dreams come true. Yeah, I know, but I had to try. A man can crawl around or he can learn to fly. And when you live round here, the ground seems awful near. Sometimes I need a lift from victory. I was off with me mates for a pint or two. When up in the sky I saw a shimmer in the blue. Charlie, it's the King of Rome. He's come back to his West End home. Come outside quick, he's perched upon your roof. Come on down, Your Majesty. I knew you'd make it back to me. Come on down, my lovely one. You made my dreams come true. In the West End of Derby lived a working man. He says, I can't fly, but me pigeons can. And when I set them free, it's just like part of me gets lifted up on shiny wings.
Let's give her another hand. Woo, that was beautiful. Where pigeons make the sweetest sounds. Well, Walt Whitman and me, we had a lot in common. His birthday was May 31st. He's a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. Blue eyes. 6 foot tall. There were so many things, I had to make a little list, but I couldn't remember all. You know how that is, right? Yeah, just a little list. He died, Walt died at 6:43 p.m. on a rainy March night. 6:43 he died, p.m. The month, June, and year 1943 I was born. We both loved cold water swimming, and the sea, and oysters. I used to go over and sit, well I still do, sit on his stoop. A guy went by me 2 days ago and he said, what are you trying to bring Walt Whitman back to life? I said, yeah. He has an infant nephew who dies soon after he's born. My brother chokes on the umbilical cord in November of '56. Walt owns only one house his entire life in Camden. The same with me. Walt worked for, here. Oh no. Walt worked for the Brooklyn Eagle. I worked for, you get the most with,
Courier Post.
yes! We even have some Courier Post people here. One of my first assignments at the Courier was to go down to Laurel Springs and write a story on where Whitman used to go to bathe in the Crystal Spring and drink its waters and stay with family he knew. He liked beefsteak and ale, and he took his poetry door to door, as I did too. Neither of us ever married. Well, there's still hope for me. We both love baseball as well. I see great things for baseball, Walt said. It's America's game. He went to many a baseball game when he lived in Washington. I played baseball all the way from Little League into my freshman year in Gettysburg. When I was younger, my dad and I used to go to Phillies games at the old Connie Mack Stadium. I even named our parakeet, Robin Roberts, the Phillies' ace pitcher. My dad laughed and said that was going to give the bird a complex, calling him Robin. What I really loved at the baseball game was the 7th inning stretch, because we got to sing that song. Maybe you know it. It goes like this. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Well, yesterday I drove through Harley Cemetery, and Tony Virgilio's headstone has a haiku on it. And it goes like this. Old timers game. 7th inning stretch. The creaking of knees. Anybody need to stretch? Woohoo! Ah, feels good, doesn't it? Well, other similarities weren't that great because our fathers, like I said, Walt's father was loud, abusive, and possibly an alcoholic. And one of his favorite sayings, Walt's father, was, "Be of good heart. The worst is yet to come." That described his whole attitude toward life. And it's funny, I had so many things in common with Walt Whitman, and there was my dad who had a lot in common with Walt Whitman's dad. My father was very loud and kind of abusive. He used to strap sometimes. And he liked to hit the bottle too. And that could really make him abusive sometimes. So, and Walter Whitman was a carpenter, and a very good one. He built houses up in Brooklyn, or rehabbed them. My father was good with his hands and built all our kitchen cabinets. He was always working on something in the basement. The poetry and inner light was much easier to see in my mom than in my dad. And Whitman was very close to his mother as well. The Leaves of Grass came out. Walter Whitman, the younger, changed his name from Walter to Walt. The elder Whitman did not live to see the book of poetry his son wrote. Neither my father or Whitman's father seemed at all interested in our poetry. This made me sometimes think more of Walt Whitman as my father, at least a spiritual father. But with my dad close to death in the Mount Holly Hospital, I have always regretted not staying by his side that April 9th in 1982. Instead, I left to catch the last bus to Camden. Like Whitman's father, my father did not live to see his son's first book of poetry either. I wound up calling my book The Last Bus to Camden. At Dad's funeral, I saw a beautiful vase. Filled with a dozen roses. My sister came up behind me. "Do you know the story of those roses?" she said. I said, no. She said, look at the card. It said, love, Mrs. G. She said, my father and Billy Griffin went into World War II together. But Billy didn't come back. And every year on Billy's birthday, my father took a dozen roses to Mrs. G's house, stood on the front porch and rang the bell. The roses in his hand. And he never maybe never wrote poetry or acknowledged my writing, but that was one of the most poetic things I've ever heard about in my life. On the day of Dad's funeral, Mrs. G answered back. Up. I'll be a 15-minute intermission now.